I pay my bills myself, cooking myself, cleaning myself, and you know, and that's from then to now.
For me, when I was little, I remember being in a pushchair. I remember seeing the Christmas lights at Oxford Street for the first time, and they were absolutely fantastic to see. I loved all the multicoloured lights flickering about all over the place. I felt like I was in a fantasy land, and that was amazing. When I was in special primary school, the teachers thought I had a good singing voice, and they recommended me to join a choir. And so I joined the choir at the Bexley Centre for Music and Dance. And the very first concert I took part in was at the Royal Festival Hall. And I remember singing songs from Hans Christian Andersen. I remember performing in the Royal Festival Hall with the big seats and the big hall, and it was absolutely amazing to be part of. It really was fantastic. And when I was in sixth, I was doing A-level music. I learned how to use Sibelius, which is like a musical notation program to kind of write all your music up onto scores in a clean and professional way. And I also knew how to compose music on Cubase and Logic, which is like basically a music composing sequencing system. And also, when I finished the performance making diploma back in 2016, my first professional work was with Facefront Inclusive Theatre, and it was Princess of the Graveyard Palace. And
oh, well, you remember that?
Yes, exactly. Yes, of course. Me and Rebecca were in it together, and it was such fantastic to be part of the show, to kind of contribute to learning disability institutions and about the labelling. It was so fantastic to be part of, and my memories right now is just soldiering on as much as possible, basically, through this uncertain time, and just trying to make the best of it and just carry on as much as possible. So, yeah, my memory.
When I was little, I did go to diploma school near me, and then when I was 8, I went to a special school, and I was doing stuff with that. And when I got into my teenager years, I did a BTEC from an art school with Chicken Shed, and that was a 2-year course, and I really, really did enjoy that. And I got my BTEC. Then I got into a thing called Dazoo, that I did a youth club on a Friday night, and I did another project called Dance Right, and we went into schools with that. And then I got involved with Facefront, and I did lots of things, 2 performances with Facefront, and then after that I went into actual areas to do a diploma course, and then we did lots of things there. And then I did an audition. I got into the Graveyard performance, and now I've got 2 performances coming up next year. I've got the one with Facefront, and I've got one on Friday. That's it, really. I've got a lot going on.
Tree of Life. At the root is me and my family and the tight relationship that I have with my mom, brothers, cousins, all, and grandma. She's very special to me. She's one of the best grandmas you could ever have. That's the root. Moving up to my childhood school, and actually I grew up in Germany between 0 and 10, which was nice. Enjoying being a kid, watching cartoons, riding my bike, because we lived in the countryside bit in Germany, not in the main city. So that was good. I could ride my bike, I could play on the swings and hang out with my brothers and my friends that I made in kindergarten and primary school sort of thing, which was nice, like preschool and stuff. So that was cool. Moving into my teenage / 20s, going to college and making even more friends, and hanging out with people and going to like Saturday club, which is like a day center where I met friends, met even more friends, and things like that, and having fun and doing. And in my 20s, when fun stopped, which was a bit boring, looking for jobs and getting a job and having relationships and marriages and divorces and everything like that. two marriages, 2 divorces, which was terrible anyway. And now in this uncertain present and future, I'm just glad I got my roots and my friends still with me.
When I was child, I was very good when I was child. I love my family, and when I grow up, the doctors, they start diagnosing me with my disability in Jordan after the war in Baghdad. So I had like hard life in Jordan and in Baghdad after the war, and since 2010 I moved to England. Then my dad, his heart start not working, his health start getting down, going hospitals, and till he passed away. Then my mental health is going worse, and my health, and till now really, because I have been diagnosed with something new now. So yeah, because I love colleges, I love to go to colleges or gym. I love to be busy. Because me and my mom, we don't get well. So because my mom, she's from hard culture, Iraq, Baghdad. It's Mayan culture. They doesn't like disability. They hate disability. So they think, oh, disability people, they can't do nothing. That they are not normal. They should be like different way. But thanks God, my sister daughter as well, she have special needs and Down syndrome. So we both glad. And I have amazing sister, but she's stuck between me and my mom, because my mom, she have mental as well, and she's disability, and she have Alzheimer, and she have arthritis, she have cholesterol, blood pressure, but yeah, so this is why my sister, she's stuck between me and my mom, and she study as well, and she look after 2 houses. So It's like hard life is being, and when I can't go to college, I just feel depressed and anxiety because I sit in my room all the time. Because me and my mom don't get well, so I can't watch TV with her because we argue all the time. And yeah, because sometimes she be mean by word, quite hurt. But I'm trying to be patient with her because I know the hammer is so hard situation. So I learned many things to help. I'm being strong for my sister and her daughter. I said, it's okay. I'm being patient. Let me be the better one than her. And yeah, but yeah, we're still stuck. But yeah, that's all really in my life.
I'm not very good at it. Then I am a little boy. Then I'm this small. I'm a little. And Nancy Francis and the Riggs. I go my old school in Dysart School. Yeah, and I'm red building and blue, whole building is red and a blue sign on blue tractor on the roof in Dysart School. I went there. I'm a little boy. Now, and then I went regional places. I went to Dysart School. I'm a little boy. And I'm a little boy, I'm not there anymore. I left there. I mean, I'm Twickenham, Richmond Adult College.
These are my 3 points in my tree of life that has made a big difference to me. The first is when I was 3.5 and my baby sister died from pneumonia. I learned that death is part of life and everything on this planet is out to get you, so no point in being afraid. So you live your life, otherwise there's no point in you being on this planet. My second one is when I became disabled at 13 from a vaccine in 1965 and had to adjust to a new way of life, and realizing that being disabled to many people meant you were on the scrap heap and that you had to fight on your own and not take no for an answer to get to where you needed to go. And that wasn't easy. And lastly, when I joined the steering group for Merton Centre for Independent Living around 12 years ago, and a few years later, we had our disability organisation up and running, where now not only my voice can be heard, but many other disabled people's voices can be heard too, with our mantra is that nothing about us without us. Thank you.
Right, confidence. I can vividly remember being called glaiked. That's a Scottish term for being stupid, and what I was happening was, as I was going around, I would be tripping up, falling over and such like. I now find out that this is due to my sight issue. However, that was not diagnosed until much later in life. Also in school times, I was always being put down by classmates and especially the teachers, especially the PE teacher when I was coming in to do PE. When it came to my turn, I was maybe doing something like a forward roll, and he always made these comments. Other teachers would also make comments about myself, never been good enough, and even getting whacks on the wrists and such like. I never seen that whilst I was in school I was ever had any level of encouragement. The effects of lack of confidence, I believe, affected myself in relationships, never deeming good enough. And if I ever did get a girlfriend, I was always told off by other people, yes, well, she's no good, I mean, she's a, yes. Also, I think in job-wise, because not having a confidence affects your posture. So therefore, I could never possibly get to the heights which I think my talents deserved. Vulnerability. That can cover a number of different areas, and I think the first one that comes to me is when I moved from Scotland down to London in the late 70s. I arrived in London without a job, without anywhere to stay, and only people I knew were some cousins in Surrey. I do vividly remember that someone approached me and said, "Did you want somewhere to stay?" I now realise what that approach meant. About being vulnerable, I can remember 2 incidences. I was coming home once from Hounslow, and I was coming round to where Green School is in Isleworth, and there was 2 men in front of myself. One kind of parted, and I don't know, I just took that kind of animal instinct and looked round, crossed the road and legged it. Yes. The other incident, which was even more scary, was I was in Barnesbridge Station. I'd missed the 10 o'clock train, and I had half an hour to wait for the next train. I was on the platform on my own, and 2 gentlemen came on the other side. And one of them said to his friend, "Let's go over and beat this man up." And the other chap says, "Oh, just sit down, Tristan," I believe his name, "and just behave yourself." But therefore, very scary position, because you're on that platform. Where can you go? The other thing about being vulnerable, especially with my lack of sight now, is the fear of going downstairs if you can't see stairs. And also another great scare for myself is cooking. I have actually sometimes, when I've lacked concentration, actually singe my hair because I get too near to the grill. Change. I think the most significant thing that actually changed for myself was in about the 2009, I went for a creative course. I don't know why I'd done this, because it was for writing and art, something I wasn't very good at. However, I told my participant of how I managed to get around when I went to work in London. And so much so that the actual tutor at the end said that you have made me reappraise what being creative was. And I think that changed my outlook. Also, another thing which clearly changed was meeting my partner Sue. Even though she had a number of health issues, I adopted her vegetarian lifestyle, and I think also that has made myself reappraise my meat eating, so much so now that in some aspects I can't actually eat it. Hello, the real me. Colin now is very confident, and I think that also affects in his posture. And he has been told by some ladies in his exercise class, he always has a cheeky grin and smile. But I think also it makes him approachable, especially by women, where they will ask him if he needs some assistance. Because I basically believe that women may feel confident with him because of his lack of sight. And also, Colin has the ability now to make people laugh, which therefore puts people at ease. A change from what he was as a child.
For 2 years, which was probably the best thing to happen to me at the time. And after that, went to a hostel in Kingston, which is still there, but it's not as good as it was, because it's mostly young people who had mental health issues. Sort of loved that part of my life, and then after that, so after that, hostel, then got accommodation. During that time, I became a Christian through a friend, which probably was one of the better things in life. I've still got that faith, so in Jesus. So and then that was in my 20s, my 20s, 30s. I hid a lot, fearful, made loads of mistakes. So more recent now is I've actually sort of had homeless issues, surviving, and hoping to find now splits out. So basically I don't know where to go from here. Anyway, I was in the middle, done various courses that I finished but haven't succeeded at the moment. Waiting to be housed, hopefully by Richmond Council, or if I have to go private. So it's been a big journey because I've been sort of in the homeless system for 10 years, mental health.
Bird shadow. If we were built like birds, we could be bird shadows, but we're brown animals with red caps in need of a mammal raft. A mammal raft is good if you have a dog, not a disability. There's also space for two. You don't get much back from a recycling box, but I'll protect them with my life. What I need is someone with access to confidential waste. But we fractured our social bones as well as our funny bones when we came to live here. We've graduated from sugar school into a starving workshop. Now we can watch skeletons weighing themselves, and the panting dog who has the vertebrae of a working dog. Even so, a smiling face is unusual round here. I've got a semi-supine face. It's lying down or crushed. You think comorbidity was catching. The gym is full of bad vibes. You give off bad vibes like a cowpat. The scales give me the bad vibes as well. The scales and the shoulder and the virtual hill. You're an elephant in the studio with your social skin. People work around us, but placing one foot in front of the other is difficult when you've got tree trunk legs and washing machine fingers. A disinhibited brain and body. Our right side could be horse meat, couldn't it? We didn't want to be vegetables running backwards. Even crows have tools and projects. But all you've got is a window on incontinence. And we can fit our straw toes into a vegetable's shoes. You're the queen of rehab, of knowing one end of a bin bag from the other. We know dribble very well. Our bum bags are good for hiding baked potatoes in. I keep my brain in a bum bag. Perhaps I'm just a bum prone to excretions myself. Ancient grains don't stay in our guts for long. We dance around our handbags. You can't hide a heart rate. But we've improved our bone health in the gym just by dancing. Our bones can move around of their own accord, a bit like basal ganglions. I'm used to hitting a brick wall with my crawl speed. We relearnt the crawling reflex and other reflexes. We will never finish shadowing, and you cannot avoid making skid marks in my sick. We took baby steps with our sausage bodies, which is necessary if the gym is in a porta cabin. Not much scope there for anything else. But infantile reflexes can take us to the recycling centre to be recycled, or upcycled into a cash cow or a money mule where we turn heads with our money laundering fingers. There's no wrong door if you've got foot in the door syndrome. Together we are the reactive rabbits. And you are my backup mammal. We've adapted to this rabbit hutch. The posing pouch has reduced. But this is not our workout space, and we'll chew through the walls. All this is a space for a mixed ability group. Our skeletons are prone to chew and prone to talk.